I'm in the mood for reading. Hey, how about you? I'm in the mood for reading. Hey, how about you? I'm in the mood for reading this book with you. Hey, hey, what do you say? Do you want to read this book today? Hey, hey, what do you say? Do you want to read this book? Well, I sure do. And it's called The Surprise Family. It's wonderful to be able to read to you guys this morning. And this book was written by Lynn Reiser. Let's see what everything's about. Lynn Reiser, The Surprise Family. For Ward and John Ward and Ward and John. And Peep her story. Let's begin. First, there was an egg. One day, it cracked open. A baby chick looked out. Nobody was there. Where was her mother? The baby chick looked up and saw a boy. Her mother was a boy. The boy was not the kind of mother the chick had expected, but she loved him anyway. She followed him everywhere. The boy showed his baby chick how to find water and food and grit for a gizzard. He taught her how to hide safe inside his jacket when a hawk flew by or when the vacuum cleaner came too close. Every afternoon, the boy and his baby chick went for a walk around the garden. Ah, what a beautiful garden, don't you think so? At night, she slept warm under the edge of his quilt. The baby chick grew and became a little hen. She still followed the boy everywhere, but now following the boy was not enough. She wanted a family to follow her. She built a nest. The boy found a clutch of eggs. He gave them to the little hen. She sat and warmed the eggs, and every day she turned the eggs, and she sat, and she sat, and she sat, and she sat, and she sat. Crack! The eggs cracked open. Crack, 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 crack. The babies looked out and saw the little hen. They followed her everywhere. She showed them how to find water and food and grit for their gizzards. She taught them to run to her when she sang a danger song and danced a danger dance. And to hide safe under her feathers. Every afternoon, the boy and the little hen and the babies went for a walk around the garden. At night, the baby slept, warm under the little hen's wings. The little hen's family grew. They still followed her everywhere, but now walking around the garden was not enough. They wanted to walk by the pond. So the boy and the hen took them to walk by the pond. They stood at the edge of the water. They looked at the water. They took a drink of the water. What a beautiful pond! Can you see all those ducks? Can you see a fish? Oh, and can you see the frog leaping in and out of the water? They jumped into the water. The little hen cried her danger cry. Her baby splashed. And almost afraid to turn the page. Let's see what happened. The little hen danced her danger dance. Her baby swam. The little hen held out her wings for her baby to run under. They kept on swimming farther and farther away. Awk, 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 awk. Oh, I'm going to turn the page really fast to see what happened. The little red hen ran after them, but when her feet got wet, she stopped. She was a chicken. Chickens cannot swim. The little hen's babies swam out of sight. Only her boy was left. Then the little hen's babies turned around, swam back, hopped out of the water, flapped their wings, shook their tails, and ran to their mother hen. Oh boy, did you see that? These chicks aren't chicks. They look like little ducks. Wow. She gathered her babies in, warm under her wings. She looked at them. They were safe. She looked at them again, carefully. Their beaks were not pointed like her beak or soft like her boy's mouth. They were flat. Their feet were not sharp like her feet or hard like boy's shoes. They were webbed. Their feathers were not fluffy like her feathers or fuzzy like her boy's jacket. They were waterproof. Her babies did not look like chicks or boys. They looked like ducklings. Ducklings were not the kind of family she had expected, but she loved them anyway. The ducklings grew and became big ducks. Some afternoons, while the ducks swam in the pond, the boy walked around the garden and the hen followed him. Some afternoons, while the ducks swam in the pond, the hen walked around the garden and the boy followed her. Other afternoons, while the ducks swam in the pond and the boy waited after them, the hen watched. But every afternoon in the garden beside the pond, after walking and swimming and waiting, there they all were together under the little hen's wings. Quack! What a lovely story. I loved it. See you next week. And do you know how to make the sound of a duck and the sound of a hen, but make it sound like really, really real? Show us. See you next week.